Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. We are currently playing AGEOD Civil War II, doing a little Let's Play. This, I believe, is episode number 16. We are in late July of 1861. We're about to resolve this turn. Now, last time when I left you, I said I'm going to go back and just check, make sure, we're moving everything around. I didn't want you to have to sit there and watch me, check every unit. It doesn't take that long, but that's not the most exciting viewing. Or maybe it is for you. But I did change a couple of things around that I just wanted to point out. And this is really going to go to what we were talking about last time, and that is the Shenandoah area. I'm getting a little nervous about what's going on here. Um, we're not in the best shape. We're pinned down here by McDowell a little bit. Now, I'm not worried about McDowell beating up on Johnston here because Johnston, he's a good defensive general. He's in good entrenchment. He's in a good spot. That being said, we've got more Union forces here. This is a big Union force. Uh, this is a big Union force. This is a smaller one, but a Union force nonetheless. So what I have done is I've given Jackson, I've told him to stay still, and I've given him a defensive posture, but he's to run at the first sign of shots fired. I'm expecting the Union to come here right away. So what have I done to kind of counter that? Now, you remember that Carolina force, so these are the heroes of Fort Sumter. They were coming up to Richmond here and even on to Fredericksburg. I've changed those orders now, and I am having them through this kind of strange circuitous route. I'm having them come to Newmarket. You see their end card here. That would resolve this turn. Let's hope they get there. Now, I don't think anything can get into this region. These guys are besieging Leedsburg. These guys are too far away to go here and here, I think. I think this train can make it all the way here to Newmarket. We also have this reserve group here that I was thinking about meeting up with MJ Thompson, but MJ Thompson's getting Floyd's group, and he could get this group if he wanted to. Um, Back here to him. So I'm going to take this reserve group, which is a 56, and put him here. It's going to take them. That will also resolve this turn, and we'll get a decent little force there at Newmarket. Now, what does that do for us? Well, if this army, this Union army, decides to come down here to Winchester, it's going to take them a turn here. It would take them another turn to get here into what is actually the Shenandoah Valley region. We will have these forces set up, and I'm even contemplating getting a general over there. But mainly, I just want to get forces there to stop, just them running roughshod down here, getting around behind our two main armies. Um, could that work to our advantage if we close their supply lines down? Yeah, but they've got a lot more troops than we do. They've got three pretty good sized forces just right here and more on the way. So let's get more troops up in here, let them know that we're serious. I feel like what they're trying to do is have us unentrench Beauregard. He's in three entrenchment. He's a really good defensive general. It's going to be very hard for them to do anything with a full frontal attack on him here. We also have Magruder back here, just kind of in reserve. And we have more forces building. So we're getting stronger here all the time. I feel like they want us to take Beauregard out of that entrenchment. Then they just run this Union army straight down here. So we're going to try to blunt that to the best of our ability. The only other thing, so let's kind of, well, I always like to be able to still see the cards. Um, so we talked about that. The only other real thing going on is vendor. I originally was having this reserve unit come to meet him. Instead, I'm going to have them go back to Richmond. It's always nice to have a good reserve unit at your capital, right? I don't think anybody ever got hurt by doing that. Nashville Zollicoffer has built up a great deal, and we will be getting more generalship here before too long. And then in October, we can form divisions. So let's go a little further west. We got Leonidas Polk. He's sitting here with this force. Now, don't forget, we've got Union troops coming down the west bank of the Mississippi. One thing I did is I took this group, the Memphis Squadron, and I'm moving them back here towards Memphis. So to the extent these guys want to get on boats or if they want to, get on transports and try to roll down the Mississippi, we'll take some shots at them, some opportunity fire. The other thing I did was right over here. These were the major movements I did when I was offline. J.O. Shelby got knocked out of Springfield. That's fine. We told him to do that, right? Um, I'm having him go here, here, and then eventually here in 9 days. That's going to take him. Worst case scenario, he stops here because there's too much going on. I've got him in let's change this. Let's make this defensive and passive. Um, I don't want him getting into a scrap. I also don't want Price to just get totally surrounded, right? So I'm bringing his force down here, and we can maybe turn the tables here. We've now got our main force here with Price that would be facing Nathaniel Lyon, um, which is good. We also have McCullough on the way here. McCullough was going to go to Fort Smith, and that's another reason that I'm bringing Shelby all the way around here. I don't want these guys to skip here and then take Fort Smith, and that kind of gets us all the way surrounded. So what I'm doing is I'm having McCullough, instead of going straight to Fort Smith, he's going to come here. He's probably eventually going to come here, but that's taking 15 full days. I mean, gosh, this is like some of the roughest terrain in the world. Um, but he's going to come here first, and then we're going to decide where to go with him. And meanwhile, I'm going to bring Shelby back here. We're kind of going to play a delaying game here. What we really want to do is we want Lion to get out on top, in front of his skis here and hit him with all three forces at once, send him reeling, leave Shelby to mop up some of these smaller militia guys. This is Power 27. We have good intel on them. This is probably similar, if not less. This is probably the same. We could have him clean this up, and if we get Lion in full retreat with McCullough and Price pushing on St. Louis, that would be working very well for us. What we have to kind of constantly be watching is McCullough needed back here? We cannot let the Union come, threaten Memphis, get past Memphis, take Little Rock, let's say. We just can't allow that to happen. The only other thing was naval, and all that were certain of these units that were getting low cohesion. I think this is one here by New Orleans. These guys were getting really low cohesion from being out here for a while. I'm just putting them back in port. So every naval unit that had below, let's say, like half cohesion, I put back into port. And that's it. So let's resolve the turn. Let's get to the fun stuff and see what happens. Maybe we'll kind of scoot in here on our eastern front and, the Shenandoah Valley. Let's see what goes on here. Now you can see as things develop, we get better intel on things. So we have question marks here, right? It's possible we start to get some intel on the size of those forces, but we shall see. Mm. Now this was something, now you'll see this, what I call double carding, which is sort of as it moves, you may think those are two forces. They're really the same force. You know, don't be scared. Now, one thing that may cause us a problem is this railway comes through this region. So where we sent the Carolina force, they're okay. Now there is a Union um, task force, it looked like, that was coming up on Norfolk. Okay, okay. This is good. Johnston's in a very strong position here. Yep, we will win this battle decisively, or well, we should. You can see we're in three entrenchment. You'll see the U.S. forces draining away. I was hoping Banks would stay even longer for some of that. Um, oh, this was very good. Okay, so Banks had a force of 31,000 men to our 14,000. If that gives, we had 4,000 horse, he had 6,500 horse, he had 162 cannon, we had 47 cannon. If that gives you an idea of what it means to have a really good general entrenched, you saw the level 3 star there. We really beat up on Nathaniel Banks out here. So that's a really nice, that's the second battle of Strasburg, and that's a very nice, and here we go. Here we go to Newmarket. I probably should have moved those guys up to Newmarket. We'll get back over there in a minute. I should have moved those guys up to Newmarket last turn, although I will say that looked like a power of 18 going that way. That's probably just a probing force. Battle of New Madrid. Oh, this is right below the tip of Illinois. This is where we had that we have this militia up here. We'll come back to that. Not a huge deal there. I'm waiting for that train to come with the Carolina department and kind of see what happens there. I'm terrified they're going to get attacked while on the train. That would not be good. It was maybe something I should have thought a little harder about. I'm sort of hoping they stop before they get to that Nathaniel Banks group. Here comes the train. You can see it here. It's at Manassas. Oh boy, not a big fan. Man, look at what the union's putting together here. They really, really want to try to, engage in Johnston on two fronts. And it's smart as a union player. If you were, let's turn the tables for a second. Think about it. You've got Beauregard there with a nice force. He's well entrenched. This first thing that you saw was their probe. It was their skirmishers or whoever. That's why you saw like 200 troops. You're like, huh? And then the rest of his force got there. A lot of this game can happen behind the scene. We just absolutely smoked him again. So that's like 9,000 troops he's lost just butting into our lines. We're also, destroying a lot of horse here. That's all good, but those are the kind of wins you have to have as the Confederacy. Now you'll see the Union there was starting to move down into Arizona. That's something we'll have to go look at after this turn. Our troops are finally getting to Newmarket. I'm hoping they scare. Yeah, see, he's just got a cavalry unit there. So hopefully, yeah. So our Carolina department, it looks like they made it down there. They made it through that region okay, which would be wonderful. That would be wonderful for us. All right. Looks like we're about to the end of the turn here. Day 15. All right. Yeah, they're the Union streaming out of California into Arizona. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at our national morale skyrocket to a beautiful 117. We got Changes from battles 4, changes from options and events 10. We're up to 117. Okay, we'll have to go over here and read our messages really fast. Usually I sweep the board. Um, oh, we're out here to beautiful Santa Fe, Fort Staunton. Um, while we're over here, let's just look really quickly. I just wanted to mention this. See, these Union forces are moving down these boxes here to western Arizona. If they get to eastern Arizona, they can start moving across here. And of course, El Paso is the only thing we really have to worry about. Now you may say, well, what is it, one or two objective points? That's okay. I still want to. I don't want them to take El Paso, and we've got a force out here. We'll build that up a little bit. Let's see what happened here. Camp Dick Robinson. What the hell is this about? The Union established a military camp near Lexington in neutral Kentucky as a show of force. Named Camp Dick Robinson, the camp becomes a rallying point for the mountaineers of southeastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee to join Union forces. The establishment of Camp Dick Robinson was also the only excuse Confederate officials required to place their own troops. Okay, so Kentucky has opened up, and we will go look at that momentarily. U.S. Congress passed the Confiscation Act. Seems a little dictatorial, although Congress passed it, so, you know. No core before 1862. We already knew that. It's March of 1862, which is very much a disadvantage. We can create divisions in October of 1861. We'll be getting there soon enough, and we will spend a whole episode kind of going into that. Uh, Here are our two famous victory. Well, we got one defeat here at the Battle of New Madrid. That was here. Here it is. This is New Madrid. So here's this poor militia group. I mean, they're out here hopelessly outnumbered. This force is also starting to get a little scary. We don't know exactly what they have. We got militia. Now, this could be wrong. We're fog of war, still question marks, but these are early indications we're getting that this would be Sturgis's brigade. We had that group that was coming down the river, I thought. May have been that group, but maybe they just landed at New Madrid. I didn't see anything go floating by. If you did, leave it in the comments. It would help me out. Um, what was the last? Oh, this is the second battle of Strasburg. Heck yeah. Late July. This was day 2 of this same battle. Oh, so the first time around, it looked like maybe Banks had withdrawn. He did not. He was in an assault posture. We don't know what his secondary order was. Maybe it was sustained. Maybe it was offensive. We wouldn't know that. We just know that he was in an offensive posture. We were defensive. We were dug in, and we had a 4 defensive general. Banks, meanwhile, can we see Banks? Can we see Banks? Well, that's McDowell. That's 322. And we'll go look at him here in a minute. The point being, it's kind of irrelevant. We whooped butt there. Now Johnston has lost quite a bit of combat power. The reason being is he was just he's now been in 2 major battles. This was the second battle of Strasburg. He's lost, quite a bit of cohesion. Um, what else do we have here? Okay, it looks like Armistead's brigade jumped in here, or we put I can't remember if we put them in there. Uh, oh, look at this. So we've got our Carolina department down here and our 3rd Reserve Brigade. So these guys all showed up. That's great. Um, I think we're going to take that Reserve Brigade and try to get them in there. Hmm. Barrow's 57, 27. These guys have also lost cohesion. So when you say, well, what's cohesion? It's an abstracted thing. I think it's kind of common sense. It's sort of like these guys have been in a lot of battle lately. These guys just traveled by train. They're from Carolina and now they're all of a sudden in, Newmarket. They don't even know where they are. So, it's their level of cohesion, it's kind of like morale, fatigue, and everything else all rolled into one. That's how I look at cohesion. It's just kind of how well can they really fight if they fight right now? And I'll tell you what, Johnston's troops really need some rest. Now, that being said, McDowell's troops. So what happened was is McDowell sent um, Banks out here to attack Johnston and kind of hung back. His combat forces, he's taken a lot of losses. His cohesion's actually pretty good, but now he's starting to run low on supply a little bit because he's out here in enemy territory. And I know that early on we talked a little bit about supply and whether you're someplace where the people are friendly to you and whatnot, but he's hurting on supply, and I'm starting to get the feeling he may just take off. Now we still have Stonewall up here. What is this? No, this Ben Butler. Okay. Wow, this is a big army. What do we have over here? This is Milroy. That's a big army. This is a little smaller with Hamilton. I mean, they've just, the Union's got a ton of troops that they're rushing here, and they're doing absolutely nothing here. They've got flatboat squadron that they're just bringing up the Potomac. Okay. But they're not doing jack squat against Beauregard. Everything's coming here, which is a smart strategy. I mean, kudos to the AI developer. Like, that's what you probably should be doing with a dug in, really good general. Um, he's still 35-20. Ew. Okay. Well, now what? Oh, let's go out and look. I say now what because I'm not exactly sure where we move here. Okay, we've got it all. Oh, he failed his activation. Well, what are you going to do? McCullough's a good general. We upped the difficulty by having them do an activation roll. His command rating, he's 4 strategic. So basically, he rolled a 5 or a 6, right? And ended up with not being activated. So well, it is what it is. We've got a force of 150 of 36. Okay, so Shelby kind of outnumbers these guys. One thing I think I'm gonna bring him back here and just let him kind of rest. Well, let's just leave him. Let's leave him right here. Let him kind of, build up for a turn. Hopefully McCullough activates. I didn't see any action here. We just don't want him to sneak behind us. Price is kind of hanging out. This guy. I love that picture. Uh, Fort Wayne, not a whole lot going on at Fort Wayne. So let's go back over here. There's not much we can do with, these guys. We can, let's bring them, try to get them over here to Poplar Bluff. We'll turn this as, do not engage. Just try to get away from people. Okay. We've got this cavalry, McClung's artillery battalion and the 1st Texas Cavalry are now active, so that's good. Um, I don't know. We're gonna have to start building some troops out here. Uh, there's a lot going on in the east, but you just can't afford to get overwhelmed out here. What do we still have here? Um, we have the garrison, which is okay. The Arkansas, I mean, we've got transports, but we're not trying to move up or down the river. Oh, hey, we got a new general. Did you see those boots over there? So Sibley is in San Antonio. Now did see, remember last turn, I was like, oh, San Antonio is an objective town, which is kind of interesting, I guess, right? Let's go up here and look at it again, just to make sure. But I thought, yeah, San Antonio is worth 1. So it's worth more than the capital of Austin, which is just a strategic town. So they've given you Henry Sibley. What's his deal? Ah, we got another drunk. What's going on with these Confederate generals? He's a 310, so yeah. What this only applies when he's in command of the stack. So we're gonna have to get him He's a seniority 47. We'll have to find somebody better or lower than a 47, meaning that they're actually higher. Um, we'll look around for that. All right, let's go look at some messages. We know that so let's turn on the filter. The unions commission more railroads. We decided to print money. We can raise taxes again, which we will do. New army headquarters able to be built in the reinforcement pool. Nice. We smuggled some cotton, and then we talked about Camp Dick Robinson. Let's go ahead and go look at this for a second. We've got two army headquarters in the reinforcement area now. Oh, it's up here. I'm sorry. War production. So we can build some reinforced headquarters in case we were to lose a headquarters. Um, and eventually that will matter because we're going to form more armies when and if we can. Okay, so those were all good. That's fine. Um, Army of the Shenandoah, we talked about these battles. These are our ships out in our sea boxes. We captured a lot of stuff and we took 3,200 prisoners. Oh my gosh. Um, we got 3 national morale for the Battle of Strasburg. Yeah, so this is a lot of that battle. We took 100 more rifles, 400 more prisoners. We gained a national morale. Okay, great. Um, we were talking about that other 10 in national morale we got. I wonder if that's from Camp Dick Robinson. I bet you it is. The Union going into Kentucky, I'm almost certain popped our national morale up. But we haven't seen it yet. Maybe we'll see something else that tells us how we got that other 10. We know that winning these battles here did us well. We've got some activity. Now remember, we were locked, but the Army of the Shenandoah activated when they got attacked. They will always do that on the defensive. Holmes, Cooks, Yules. Okay, this is just individual brigades that are activating. As we go through these episodes, I'm going to try to go through each one less. At this point, you probably can, catch on what's going on. This is where we got replacement in units. So you see, we really did get quite a few more units this time. So the Marines are done training. Fulkerson's brigade is ready to go here at Fredericksburg. So we will be moving, that's a really nice brigade. We'll be moving them around. We maybe even take Longstreet and give him to Johnston, given how things are sort of playing out here. He's already Beauregard's already got a 35% penalty, so taking Longstreet out of here is just not going to really matter. If we could rail him up here, get him to Johnston, that may really help because Johnston's under a lot of pressure now. You always kind of want to look at these to see what's now active, so that's all good. Um, Well, they took some Indian territory, they took some Arizona. The Union took uh, quite a bit of territory this time, but it's all places, in my opinion, that don't really matter. And we've got a new telegraph line going, cotton brigades. Johnston has been congratulated, and his new seniority is 1, so you will start to see this. He's up to a 1. Edmund K. Smith is up to an 8. Okay, so Smith um, did a good job here under Johnston. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that you can do to promote him. Johnston's now a 3-star general. I think eventually Lee can become a 4-star general, but you don't really go any higher. Edmund K. Smith, him going up like that's a good thing because eventually you'll be able to promote him down here. I think he can become a 2-star general. As they gain seniority, in other words, go down the seniority number, So he went down, I think, from a 9 to an 8. We can actually go look at that. Edmund K. Smith, he started various. I'm going to find this now that we talked about it. He's a 4.32, by the way. Not bad. He's the Seminole Edmund K. Smith. Hmm. Maybe we have to do it over here. I think maybe it shows it to you here. Let's find out though. Let's make absolutely sure. Basically, they have to advance a certain number of seniority. You cannot, if this were no, you'd have to detach him. Okay, well, let's take Smith out for a second, just because I'm trying to show a point. He's not eligible. Okay. Well, he wasn't eligible, so it's not going to show it to us. Basically, I think they have to advance by 5 or go down in the number by 5 in seniority. You'll see it pop up. And when you get one of those messages, you should always go check to see if he can be promoted because you'd rather him be a 2-star general and eventually he'll be a corps leader. Let's see. Okay, well, I think we're gonna maybe call this a turn. Let's sweep the map really quickly. We're gonna leave, Shelby there. We're going to this time, we got a lot more stuff. Remember, we issued those bonds. We have to remember and go up and go through this stuff because now we can print more money. We will be doing that. Um, so we'll be building some troops out here in Tennessee now. I'm sorry, here it is. War supply, conscripts. We're looking a lot better there. We have this new kind of scout cavalry force that we'll send up here. Eventually, we'll have to give them a good cavalry leader. Um, let's see. Oh, I know what I want. What else I want to see? Okay, Floyd is almost here. It'll be 3 days. Thank goodness. Then we're gonna ship Floyd up here somewhere, and then take maybe Smith or somebody like Gustavus Smith and give him this group, just so they have a little command. One thing mm, we're not going to put them together because I want to move this third reserve up this way. As a matter of fact, before I forget, Carolina's 101. That's a good force to have there. Let's do third reserve here and then there. We want them to be as passive as possible because we don't want them fighting on their own. We just want them to go reinforce him. But we'll deal with a lot of this stuff next time. We'll go through the cards, we'll build our forces, and we'll do any other moves. I honestly, I'm not sure there are going to be a ton of moves. We might look at Stonewall and do something kind of fun with him. Maybe go up and cut more rail. Just so, as you can already see, if they're here at Clarksburg, they can just ship troops back and forth, east to west and west to east. That's why we wanted to cut this rail. Unfortunately, they had already gotten some out, but that's why we did it. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for joining me here at Strategy Gaming Dojo. I love this game. If I can just get one more person to play it, I'll be happy. I just think it's a great, great grand strategy Civil War game. If you like this, hit the little dojo guy, subscribe, and I'll keep cranking out this kind of content either way, but I would appreciate it. So thank you much. I'll talk to you next time.